3, 2.
Welcome back to the Trick Talking Meat podcast. I'm your co-host, Brother John. With me, as always, Allie the Spoiled Bat.
Hello.
And we're talking about video games, crossovers to the movies, or vice versa, movies that became video games. Some would suck, some would not. Most would suck, though. Most would suck.
Yep.
Okay, now give me a closeout for this one.
Which in video games and for movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, 3, 2.
I lost all my family.
I read
lost all my
somewhere
characters.
that Amazon is actually doing the Oregon Trail TV series.
I know
like,
that
it's
there was
supposed
a
to be
TV
like
series.
based on the video game. Like,
Yeah.
but
If it's anything like Fallout, it'll be amazing.
right. Well, that's
That
what
is
I'm
true.
saying.
Fallout was great.
I mean, really, have they made a decent, video game movie yet? I mean, Super Mario Brothers was really cool. The Chris Pratt flick, the animated movie. I liked it.
Yeah,
I love that they had
it
the
was
throwback Mario and Luigi show song from the 90s.
Yes.
In the beginning.
Yes, that was like
See-
a highlight.
And once I saw that, I was like, I'm sold. This movie's going to kick ass. I mean, so well done, Sony. I mean, I don't know what you're doing with your Spider-Man franchise, but you're definitely killing it with the Mario shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
For sure.
You're probably not going to see much Ray Park. Well, it's Ray Park that ruined Darth Maul. Didn't he say some anti-Semitic thing, something or another? I thought he got banned from Disney or something.
No, he
he didn't even do the Han Solo movie. That wasn't him. That was another guy, wasn't it?
No, that was
him.
It was that was him. That was
They
Ray
did
Park.
the holocron thing at the end.
But the voice was Sam Witwer.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But didn't he get into some kind of trouble or something, mouthing off or something?
He and his wife apparently had some problems. This is
Oh,
just
that's
this
right,
is
that's
just
right,
the
that's right.
story that I've heard. I'm
Yeah,
not
no, this is
saying
all
that
speculation.
This is
I don't.
what it is.
I like Ray
This is
Park,
just,
whatever.
You know, hearing it through the grapevine or whatever, so can't really depend on it. But he was having some problems with his wife, and They split, and then he started sending her interesting pictures, and she took offense to it.
Well, no, it was there were posts that he was making on his Twitter.
There's that too. He lost his...
He was like, it wasn't me. She hacked into my frigging account.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense. I mean, I met the guy. He's a lovely man.
Oh yeah, no, he's a sweetheart.
But it is one of those things like he says she hacked in and did all that.
Yeah.
shit.
Right. Well, it's kind of a
so it's
did he? Did she? Who knows?
But at the same time, a couple going through a rough split. Shit. Who knows?
A lot of shit
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I say terrible shit and show
I mean,
my wife terrible shit now, and we're still together. So
I mean, if you want
can't blame you there, Ray.
If you want to ruin someone's career, you ruin their Disney contract.
Yeah, their Disney credit.
Right.
But
I figured mine's up, so I can say whatever I want now.
That actually happened before Solo. So he actually did stuff after it happened. So I think right now it's just,
Does he still do fan celebration, all that stuff? I mean, is he still invited to all that?
He's always at those. He's always at the shows.
Because I know he didn't do Toad in the new Wolverine Deadpool movie. They recast that.
I also know that he has had a lot of work on his knee.
Yeah.
On his both knees. And so he actually still can do...
Well, he injured his back as well.
Oh, did he injure his back? I didn't hear about that one.
I want to say I remember.
I knew about his knees. He had surgery on his knees, and I think he had surgery on his hip.
That may be what I'm thinking of.
Maybe it's just because we're all getting old.
Well, I mean, that's the fact that we are getting old. And
I mean, and I could honestly tell you right now, Ray Park could walk into this bar and kick the shit out of me all over this place. Yep. So, hey, all hail the great one.
He was only 19, I think it was, when he played Darth Maul. He was young. Because he had just won like the world's championship, and that's when they took notice of him, and that's why they got him, because they wanted him to do.
Wasn't he in Mortal Kombat first?
It was like
he was in Mortal Kombat 2. He was.
Yeah.
He did a bit. No. Yes.
The video game or the shitty movie they did?
The movie.
Oh, okay, the shitty one with what's her name from Star Trek?
He was Raiden.
No. He was one of the ninjas.
Maybe he was one of the ninjas too. But I could have sworn that he was Raiden's stunt double.
Sidetracking away from the
Anyway.
video games, yes. Ray
Well,
Park.
I mean, it's kind of, but yeah.
Again, lovely man. I've met him. Seems to
we've
be a
met
good
him.
guy. I liked him. You know,
Yeah, no,
thought he
I
was
liked
cool.
him a lot. He was very sweet.
And I hate anybody gets shit on like that, especially if it really was his ex-wife or something. That sucks.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you know.
something between them. And
Come on,
and
man. You're gonna
it's
get an alimony
unfortunate.
payment, for Christ's sake. Leave the man alone. Don't mess with his money.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That's it.
That shitty
Raptor
movie.
number 3 and
Which was the second
Baraka.
Mortal Kombat.
Baraka number 2.
Okay.
Well, all the little henchmen in those movies were Barakas,
Yeah, he
but
was
they weren't like the
also,
bladed guy from Mortal Kombat 2.
He was also a stunt double for 2 of the people
Yeah.
in the movie.
Which I think is he was Raiden or Raiden.
So I guess since
however
we're
you
talking
say
about
it.
actors anyway, we might as well start talking about video games on film.
Yeah, I mean it's still a video game.
Mortal Kombat, what was that, 1991 that came out?
Oh my god.
Soundtrack was kick-ass.
Soundtrack
I think
was
it kinda-
so awesome.
I think it kind of introduced the world to trap music for the first, like in a big way, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
How many laser tag games did you ever play?
Oh,
with
jeez.
that
Mortal
last-
I mean,
Kombat!
they introduced me to the Chemical Brothers, man.
Right.
And even Annihilation had a great soundtrack too.
That was a-
KMFDM.
That
I
was
mean,
a movie plagued with problems, too.
Yeah.
And they still put out a kick-ass winner of a film.
Yep. That they introduced me to the Chemical Brothers. I mean, it's crazy. I loved Rammstein. Yep, was on the second one. I loved that scene.
They had a song other than Du hast?
They did, but I think
No!
it was actually Du hast.
Get
I
out of
don't-
town. Did they not? Did
It
they really
was-
put that on there?
I think it is. I
No,
think
the
it
Du hast
is.
wasn't on Mortal Kombat soundtrack, was it?
On Annihilation.
Maybe Annihilation. I don't know. But yeah, that movie.
But
That was the
maybe-
one that had
maybe
like
it's not.
Cyrax, but it wasn't like a robot. It was a dude with a helmet or something.
Maybe it's
I don't know.
not. I could have, but I know Rammstein is on there. But yeah, no.
Three
that
greatest
being-
exports from Germany: Rammstein, and David Hasselhoff, and Taco.
And that's like
Engel.
Engel. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
been a
just-
while. It's been a while. It's packed away. I actually still have it, but it is packed away.
So that was a major hit, and then we had a string of turds like Doom, starring Dwayne Johnson. I think even he would bash that movie. I tried to watch the sequel the other night because it was Halloween. I thought, all right, wow, they did a sequel to it in like
They
2011.
tried different things with it, but
And it
didn't
was just
work.
as big a piece of shit as the first one. It's like, how do you fuck this movie up? I mean, it's just a badass stuck in like
And then
Mars.
how do you fuck it up even more?
Well,
Right,
it's
well,
like that's another thing too. How do you fuck up Borderlands? And they did
yeah.
real hard, like
subjective,
real bad.
yeah.
From what I understand.
Oh, it's apparently
I
like the
still
worst
haven't
movie to
watched
come
it.
out in like 10 years or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Doom was a giant turd, and then they did I think they did a House of the Dead movie.
They did a lot.
Oh, the UA Bowl shit.
Oh my god! And then that whole
Oh,
string
yeah.
of shitty Resident Evil flicks. And I
Yep.
like
Yep.
Jovovich, man. She's awesome. The first movie's tolerable. After that, it's like I don't know what the hell they're doing.
And I
I'm
know
kind of shocked that Amazon Prime or Max hasn't picked that one up for a TV
know,
show,
right?
man. Like,
They did.
they did.
did they?
Yes.
They
Oh,
they
is it
did.
coming? Are they going to do like a
No,
Raccoon
No,
City
they already
type
did
thing?
it, and
Oh.
they
Came
already
and went.
canceled it.
Really?
It
Yep.
was.
It was one season.
It was all right.
Who
It
had
was
it?
okay.
Amazon.
I think it was Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was a
Oh
Resident
no,
Evil
I saw
series.
that. Yeah, it was the
See,
one that was in.
It was so
Britain.
bad you just pushed it out.
Yeah, I
of
do.
your head.
But it was trying. They were trying to give you
I mean,
the
acting
backstory
was
to the.
great, but the
Yeah,
story
no,
was not Resident
It
Evil.
was just boring because there was
Yeah.
no Resident Evil going on. It
Yeah.
was just the umbrella. I do remember that. It was the school or whatever,
Yeah.
the kids,
Yeah.
and they found out
Yep.
their dad worked downstairs in the.
yeah, so
Psycho
they broke into
Factory
the
or-
lab, and then the
Yep.
zombies finally showed up.
And then they canceled it because they're like, the show's way too expensive. I do remember that was Netflix that had that.
Was it
Was it?
It was
Netflix?
Netflix, I think, that had the Resident Evil TV show.
One of them had it. I just
Somebody
know
had
that.
it.
Whoever had it, they justifiably canceled it.
But
Well, yeah,
seriously, if
yeah.
I had the budget and I had the money, it's like, hey man, let's go film the thing in like Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, we'll call it Raccoon City because I mean the sets are already
I mean,
there. It's all
yeah.
just a shit town anyway, and like just run with it. Like I would just have Chris Redfield and his sister in the police station go,
Yeah.
and the whole season would just be them fighting their way out of Raccoon City, and
Nope.
you'd have
We
you
gotta
could do
have
10
we
1
gotta
hour
have
episodes
Claire
of
with
that.
Leon.
Well, I mean, how many Resident Evil games basically just took the timeline of Resident Evil 2 and just ran with that.
Right. And this was happening at the very same
City
time.
Stories and Resident Evil Survivor games.
That's not an uncommon thing, though, because you look at the Star Wars novels. I mean, look at how much crap they supposedly happened and went down in the history of Star Wars in Mos Eisley Cantina. They had a whole book about it, Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina. They're just doing the same thing with the They took the very best game, Resident Evil 2, and they spread it out, and they're trying to milk it. You know, and I don't blame them.
That's fine.
As long as it's good, it makes sense.
Now, do a TV show.
Sure, that's exactly my point. Like, why are we trying to reinvent characters and trying to redo this, that, and the other?
That's what I never got and what
Chris
why
Leon Redfield
like
in the middle of Raccoon City. Go.
Now, I mean, the thing is though, they have like the animated ones that Capcom have come out with.
They're not bad, but
those are pretty good. I like them.
They're better than the live action.
Well, I will give you that.
Yeah.
I will give you that they were better than that, but it's not a very tall order.
But it's like we do know. I do know that there are a lot of people who really love the Resident Evil movies, and that's all on you.
They're fun. No, don't get me wrong. Like, are you telling me that the movies are better than the game? No, by no means, not even close.
Yeah, no,
but have I seen them all? Yeah, I've watched them all. They're just very, again, they just cherry pick the best parts that they want to borrow from the game series. But then on the flip side of that, you've got a show like The Last of Us that is completely amazing in every way. And Pedro Pascal killing it. Follows the story, and they've walked a fine line too. Like, how much or how closely do we mirror the video game without actually just making the video game over again?
Yeah.
But where they exceeded was the little subplots, throughout the first season that were made. Okay, like this didn't.
Odin, not Odenkirk.
The two guys that were living together in the house, like the whole backstory, because we saw them in the game.
Nick Offerman. That's it, Offerman.
And they they visited their house in the video game, but I don't think they had that whole backstory with the two guys. That was beautiful. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, that's when I stopped. I had to stop watching at that point. I was like, if it goes downhill from here, and I know it goes downhill from here, I'm not going to be able to handle it.
The heartbreak was too much for her.
Yeah.
And
if you've not seen it, they
Nick
won.
Offerman just brilliant in that role.
Took a little small role and turned it this emotionally huge, brilliant performance. I mean, and it's so out of right field for that guy too. Like, I mean, just a role that you wouldn't assume him to be doing something that's not funny,
Yeah.
But if you have not seen Last of Us, definitely that's a Halloween treat right there. It's definitely one I'd be on my list.
Yeah.
What else was successful? What else did we see that was
Super Mario Brothers, the movie?
Yeah, the Pratt movie, or are you talking about the?
We're talking about the original.
Hoskins
we watch
movie.
it all the time.
Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopper. The story that I'd read is that from Leguizamo that claims that they were drunk the entire movie because
I
would believe
he said they stayed shit-faced like the whole shoot because like every day they were like they had no clue what they were even shooting. The pages would change every hour to the next. The story would change every hour to the next.
That's crazy.
Then we had Mojo Nixon in there playing Toad, which is awesome. And I think he passed away a year or two ago, didn't he? Mojo Nixon? I thought he passed away. I read somewhere. But anyway, yeah.
But
what a glorious turd of a film.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I remember being a kid getting to see that, and it was great. Like,
this past February.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, he was on a cruise line doing a celebrity cruise or something and passed away on the cruise.
Well, I mean, what a way to go.
Yeah, rocking and rolling still.
Right.
But Bob Hoskins, and I also read that he said the only reason he did that film is because his grandkids forced him to do it.
Yeah.
They were huge Mario fans.
I mean, he was perfect.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He was good, and Leguizamo was really good in that movie. It's just that it was a weird.
It was just a weird movie.
Like they were trying to make like Blade Runner out of Super Mario Brothers. I think you guys have really overthought
it was
this
like
thing.
M. Night Shyamalan trying to do an Avatar: The Last Airbender thing. It's like they heard kind of what Mario was about, but knew nothing about it.
I've never watched the Airbender flick. Is it just that terrible?
It is awful. Just don't. Don't do that to yourself.
What a twist! It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's like his kids described it to a friend who then described it to him.
Right. Yeah. And he thought, oh, I could run with this.
And he was like, oh, that's all I need to know.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Don't bother reading any of the manga or any of the stuff, the comics, graphic novels, any of the literature.
Or talking to the creators of the series.
Sure, yeah. They're all alive and more than willing to help you make a film.
Yeah. But no, with Super Mario Brothers movie, like, I remember it, like, seeing it as a kid, but then I got older and I got to see it as an adult, and
I appreciated it more as an adult.
Yeah, because you see how creative that they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what they had, you know, and the just, you know, he's a plumber and he eats mushrooms
with very little storyline.
You know, but Mario I can't blame Nintendo for not. I can't blame Nintendo for not letting people license their shit out after that movie, because it really was that.
Absolutely.
The director and his wife, I guess, who wrote and directed the movie, really had no idea what that video game was about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really didn't have a story.
I mean, that should have been a guaranteed winner. I mean, Mario Brothers in the middle of the height of the 1980s, man, like.
So you don't think the more surefire bet would have been a Legend of Zelda movie?
Oh, I think they should do that now. I think somebody, again, and the rumor is that they had let Netflix get the rights to a live action Zelda, and then they pulled the plug because somebody was leaking info already, and Nintendo got freaked out and backed out.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
This
because
is why
if there
we
was
can't
never
have nice things.
That's it. That's exactly right.
It's called sign the NDA, keep your mouth shut.
Yep.
Right, and it's a drag, because if there was ever a property that lent itself to a TV series other than maybe Zelda, Metroid would be the next follow-up. I would love to see a strong female character out in the middle of space kicking ass. Or hell, even Star Fox would be a great series.
Oh, God, yeah.
We need a new Ripley. I mean, you know, I love having Ripley, but I think...
love Sigourney, but she's aging out. It's time to get us a new female chick out in space.
I think Samus would be awesome.
Who would be your fan cast?
Oh, my
for Samus.
Oof. You know, I don't really know, because I don't really know celebrities' names. Like, I see faces and I'm like, oh, that person.
People that I know could do it. Demi Lovato would be on that list.
Yeah, Demi could do it. That's not me.
It's a Tennessee number.
Oh.
Should I answer it? Hello.
Hello. May I know whom I'm speaking with?
General Sweet Pants.
Are you a bot?
I am not a bot.
Are you a bot?
Are
a butt plug? Oh, wow.
Oh,
I actually got AI to hang up on me.
A bot thought you were a bot.
That's fucking great.
And I love the fact that we have it on.
Yeah, that's a soundbite that we could clip out of this episode.
Amazing.
Are you a bot? I am not a bot. You're a bot. No, I'm pretty sure I'm a human.
Are you a bot?
Click.
No, we should have said, you know, are you a bot? And give it like an existential crisis or something. You know?
A lot of people have a different approach to the telemarketers. I answer every fucking one of them. I love it. If you're going to waste my time, I'm going to waste their time. And that'll keep them, that's one less call they're going to make today to some old person that they could take advantage of. So I will keep them wrapped up and busy as long as I can keep them on the line.
I just can't think about things like.
Oh, I love it. It's a litmus test, really. Like how far can I fuck with this person before they finally had enough?
Yeah.
And it's entertaining. I will answer every one of them every time any one of them calls. I love it.
But love it. I'm trying to think of.
So,
I'm trying to think
side
of
note.
people.
Well, that's a spot to cut and then come back in. But other movies that were terrible, video game, films, or TV shows. Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
Hit or a miss. It's got the perfect amount of Adam West cheese to it, I think. I liked it. I watched it again like last summer just because it was on Netflix. I was like, okay.
It for Raul Julia, so
yeah, I was about to say
again.
And that was his last role before he passed away.
That's such a bummer.
I know, right? He was so talented. Like he was amazing, and yeah, it was just unfortunate.
but Van Damme actually playing Guile works for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of like the movie. It's kind of like Adam West Camp. It's
Well,
so
it's
good.
like they got the casting. Like the casting's okay.
Well,
you
and
know,
they-
I mean,
They pretty much did manage the same thing with the Dead or Alive movie.
Did they?
Well, level of camp.
Oh.
oh,
Yeah, but that's a fine line to walk, man. Like Adam
Right.
West gets away with it because he created that shit. Him and Shatner were like the king of that stuff. Then years later they try to replicate it with like say Batman and Robin, and it's just no. It's either gonna be campy because it was, or you can't force it, man.
no, Schumacher ruined things.
Everybody wants to blame him, but you got to realize too, he had a whole corporate machine behind him wanting to peddle Happy Meals and reverse course after Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Because that pissed off all the merchandisers and fast food chains and just
I don't know why. There was still so many toys, and I loved every single one of them.
That said, it was
they
amazing.
still made a ton of money, man.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
worry about it. Summer of '91, they did all right.
That's what started, my fascination with spandex, apparently. So.
But you could blame Schumacher all day long. Did he make some bad choices? Probably. But did he have some corporate overlord behind him, like hitting him with a stick over the head, like, no, you're gonna do this, that, and the other in the movie? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Come on. Does anybody really want Robin in the movie? Well, let me take that back. That's not fair because I like Robin. Does anybody really want Chris O'Donnell playing Robin in the Batman movie?
That's the difference.
Exactly.
And
Or George Clooney supposedly having a
George Clooney. That was like
George Clooney was the perfect Batman.
No,
you could get the fuck out of this bar. Clooney was amazing as Batman. He got handed a $20 million toilet dud of a script though, man.
I'm talking about the story of apparently him getting pissed off that Robin couldn't have a bigger crotch than Batman.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, the bigger codpiece. Yeah. Well, I mean, Chris O'Donnell was bigger than Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
So literally,
that's where that
the last shot of the movie where they have the bat signal behind them and they're running at the camera, they had to put Val Kilmer up on an apple box basically, or some kind of track.
Yeah.
Because O'Donnell was like 3 inches taller than Batman, and it's like that's not right. You can't have. So they had to make Val Kilmer taller than Chris O'Donnell when they were running side by side. Yeah. It's just ridiculous stuff. But I agree, Batman's got to have the biggest cock. I don't blame Clooney. I agree, buddy. I agree.
Well, was it Clooney or was it Kilmer
No, it was Clooney.
It was Clooney?
Yeah. No, he's totally 100% right on that.
And what's with the bat nipples?
That was just, I think he was trying to make him more like a Greek type thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
That's a far reach.
Did you ever see the Batman cock issue? Really?
Yes.
You're looking at me like a dog in headlight. Okay,
What?
so Batman the Damned #1. They showed Batman walking around the cave with his flaccid cock out.
Yeah.
Like, and all his glory. And he's endowed too. Like, he's a hung guy. It's like a Clydesdale walking around. And you only see the shadow of the tip of the monstrosity.
It's so
the shadow of the bat.
It's so slight, and I mean that's pretty much it.
So he's got a cool car. He bangs all the hot chicks.
Talking about how big it is, and it's so slight.
Well, no, like when
one
you
panel.
see it, it's one panel.
I'll get it. It's upstairs. I've got it.
But after all of the printings after that, they ended up blacking it out.
Yeah, I guess a bunch of parents groups were like, and I get it. What they were saying, like, you could show boobs, but you can't show a dick. Like, what's the difference?
A dick?
But it's like that was a mature.
Sure, it wasn't like gratuitous or anything either. It wasn't like he was just walking around like,
Yeah, right.
Hey, Alfred, check this out. I could balance a fucking Chevy on the end of this thing. No, it was. So people got pissed and they did a reissue of the book and it was all shadowed out where you couldn't see any of his cock anymore. Yeah. But there were assholes like me that ran out there and bought it because it's like, it's Batman's cock. And what pisses me off, it's like he's a billionaire playboy, philanthropist, hangs out with superheroes, genius level intellect, and he's got to be hung like a horse too. I mean, come on, man. Where's the faults here?
He gets everything.
He gets everything. Like, my mom and dad died. Well, hell, that's a trade-off.
He's a married.
It's like a baby arm holding an apple. It's just insane. Like, you got to be hung too. Like, of course, you couldn't go in there thinking, well, Batman's gonna be hung like a fucking 5-year-old either.
True,
I mean, he's Batman for God's sake. Maybe that's.
I mean, with it, you could see with this panel that he was cut. Just saying. Yeah, that's how detailed.
Holy
and
bat circumcision, Robin.
I can't remember who actually drew it, but I think like whoever drew it, you're amazing. You're awesome. You're just awesome because it's just.
It was just enough to know that I'm rocking a high hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Pringles can that's been sitting in water for 2 hours. It gets all deformed.
Oh my god.
Or, you know, like a balloon animal that's come undone and it's just all knotty and shit. I have it upstairs. I'll bring it out after the podcast. You know what? It's the first and only time, too, that the CDC grading company would not grade a comic book because I was an asshole. I took... So when I got it, I figured I'm going to slab this thing for posterity, but I got an X-Acto knife. And I cut all the like little 1-inch square pages all the way down through the cover, down to the page where it was just his dick. Front cover. And I put like arrows all around it to just make sure you saw the dick once it was slabbed. Like, hey, check out my bat dong. And like yellow paint pen. And they sent it back to me because they said, you're offensive and our female staff are angry and how dare you. And I was like, that's
put
awesome.
It in there?
Huh?
You didn't put it in the comic.
I didn't put it in the comic. I just pointed it out. And apparently I'm a sick asshole because I did that. And I thought that would just be funny because you'd have it sitting up on like your desk or something. And it's like, hey, look, Batman Damn #1. I wonder if is that his dick? Yeah. Because once it's in the carbonite block there, you're not going to be able to flip it open and see the dong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So anyway, video games. Back to Mario Brothers and something wholesome. Maybe, you know what? As one of our Patreon weird little add-on things, I will go break that thing out and show the universe my Batman Damned #1 because I'm damned for owning that thing apparently, and I'm the biggest asshole in the Southeast according to CGC or whatever that company is that grades book. Like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like nobody's asking you for your moral opinion here, people. Just slab the fucking book, take my $50 and shut up.
Yeah, right.
I want to be an asshole. I'm going to be an asshole.
Just give me the box. Just give me the box.
I'll show you my graded G.I. Joe #1 too.
Yeah.
I don't ever grade any of the books like for collector. I try to get them as low as I can possibly get them and then have them slabbed. Like I was trying for like a 0.5 on G.I. Joe #1.
Oh, wow.
And I took it to cons for like a year, and I let all my con friends like use it as a coffee coaster or put cigarette. It was an ashtray. I left it out in a mud puddle in the backyard for like a week in the rain. I mustard, and I let all my artist friends like draw on it, and then I had it autographed by Larry Hama, who thought it was the most funniest thing he'd ever seen. He was like, "Seriously, this is." I'm like, "Yeah, man." I told him I was getting it graded. It's the only time in 15 years I've known the guy. The first time I've got him to bust out laughing, like so much so that they called me when they got the book and they were like, you know, we see that it's been autographed by Mr. Hama. Do you want us to verify that for another $25? I'm like, yes, I do. So I've got like a 1.0. It's just tattered. Anyway, I do one of those every year. I take a really expensive, awesome comic book and then I destroy it. I'm actually doing a New Mutants with the first appearance of Deadpool now.
Oh.
Yeah, people are pissed. They're like, are you serious? Why would you do that? Because
That's
it's funny.
painful for me, man.
Because it's funny.
Ooh, I can feel that in my spine.
I did like a Hulk 181 I trashed.
Wow.
Do the same thing and then
That
framed
Hulk
it.
I don't really care about.
I've bought comic books at like 8 or a 9 and then cracked the thing in front of the guy who sold it to me just to pull the comic book out and fuck it up. And then re-slab it.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
So back to movies, video games on film. Anything else noteworthy have we seen?
Oh man.
I know the Fallout TV show was absolutely brilliant.
Fallout was great.
Totally handled that perfect.
You got me sidetracked with the painful
Penis?
Well, that
penis.
Too. That too. I mean, no.
She's gotten scatterbrained with the thought of penis. Peni, plural.
We're sitting here trying to talk about video game movies.
Jeez, get your mind out of the gutter.
Thinking about Batman's cock.
Yeah,
I
now
know,
you're all
right?
thinking.
Where
Now
the
you're
heck
all
did that
worked up
come
over his
from?
dong. Jesus.
Oh my god.
We know it.
It's your fault.
You know, Allie, as a side note, they say that the Klingons have 2 of every organ.
That makes things interesting.
How does that make you feel?
Makes things very interesting. I'm sure the fanfic writers have a ball
I'm
with
surprised nobody's done like a romance novel with a Klingon with 2 dongs.
I'd be amazed if there's not one.
I think I'd be more shocked you were correct if there
And go
wasn't
check
like.
out AO3.
Well, you could never publish it because Paramount would never let you
pull
get
up-
away with it.
Yeah, we need to pull up AO3 later on and see.
I need to ask my wife. She's into those books. Has there ever been like a Klingon with like a high hard one? Well, two of them.
Oh my god, that actually would be a really good like extra things.
Dude, it'd be like a reverse
Just
Eiffel.
reading
Oh yeah,
one
do
of those out
y'all,
loud.
A
do y'all want
a
us
Klingon
to-
porn, dude. Think about it, Josh. It'd be like a reverse Eiffel Tower.
This is the well, we've hit Star Trek now, so
Can you
I
explain
mean,
that one, please?
You don't know what the Eiffel Tower is?
Yes, I do know. what the
Oh,
Eiffel
okay.
Tower
Well,
is.
it's like, if you've got like instead of one dude in the middle, now you got one dude hitting two chicks on both sides, or two dudes. Be progressive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the reverse Eiffel Tower if you're a Klingon, man. And then they could high five, you know? It's like-
oh my god,
look it up, kids.
no.
Next
no.
week we'll discuss the Dutch rudder.
Oh my
Okay,
Like
moving
that.
onwards. We're gonna go back to video game innovation. I've tried to steer back to video games for like a half hour,
I
and
know.
anything everybody wants to talk about is
Yeah,
Eiffel
but you
Tower
wanna
and
know
penis.
Who keeps on like derailing
It's
it?
your husband.
It's you.
It's not me. I am innocent. I did nothing. It was all Josh. You all heard
you
it here.
Sweet angel.
He is not a sweet angel.
Oh, I was talking about you, but okay.
All right. Video game movies. TV
Video
shows.
game movies.
Wrapping up the video game movie section. Is there any other TV shows or Spawn? Well, no, that was a comic book.
That's
my bad.
comic book. Yeah.
It was a video game, but it wasn't a
I
good
think
one either.
we've hit like a good
The
amount.
majority of the good stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of like
Well, there were the
obscure.
cartoons.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the cartoons
Was
don't
there
really
ever
count.
a Wolfenstein one? or
Oh, you know
no?
what? We didn't talk about Silent Hill. Holy shit, that
Oh,
was a
Silent
great
Hill,
movie.
those were
Alice
great.
Krieg,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
those were cool.
How did I not remember Silent Hill? I freaking love those movies.
And they're
Those are-
supposedly doing a reboot on those right now too.
Yeah,
There's supposed to be
yeah.
like a TV show / miniseries coming, and I'm like,
And Silent Hill
excellent.
2 just came out
Oh,
on
that's
the
right, because
consoles.
they're doing the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're doing Silent Hill 4.
Which that would be awesome.
Hell yeah.
Metal Gear. I'm shocked none of us talked
I
about
know. I
Hideo
didn't think
Kojima
about that.
at all.
Like, that's one that should be a movie.
Yeah,
Hmm.
What the hell happened there?
I wonder if it's Sony or is it Hideo Kojima? Is that his name?
Hideo doesn't work for Capcom. It's Capcom, isn't it?
Right.
But there's actually a story to why that hadn't happened. Tom Cruise approached Capcom.
Really? Oh well, yeah, I would have turned it down too.
And Hideo Kojima, well, the thing is, Capcom was all for it.
Ugh.
But Hideo Kojima said, "Over my dead body."
Right.
Yeah.
He said
'Cause
the
he still
only
owns
Solid Snake
copyright.
is David Hayter
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah.
at the time.
Okay.
At the time, his
Who
whole
would play
defense-
Solid Snake today?
David Hayter.
Really? You think
Yeah.
so still?
The oh,
You know, actually,
you mean who
He
still
would be
does?
big- he
Oh,
should-
no,
be
who
Big
could do it?
Boss,
I
man.
know who could play fucking Solid Snake right now. It'd be awesome. Jeremy Renner.
Oh,
Jeremy,
God,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Renner would fucking
Yeah.
kill it. Just put that eye patch on his
I'm
ass
fine
and
with him. I'm
Yeah.
fine with this.
give him about 20 extra pounds of muscle and
I'm-
just really put him in that suit.
I'm
Fucking
I'm,
sold, man.
I'm good with this.
Yeah.
I've worked with that
Well,
dude. He's awesome.
And the age he's at right now is perfect
Right.
for Solid Snake.
Solid Snake,
Yeah.
the Golden Year Snake.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
He would
Because
fucking
he had that whole
murder
I'm too old
that
for this
shit.
kind
He
of thing
would
going on.
murder
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah. Jeremy,
That's a good one.
get working.
Somebody
get your
go to
agent
Disney.
working.
Get a Solid
God
Snake
damn
movie.
it, Capcom, do it.
I have the Jason game. It's excellent. I played the
I'd heard it was
shit out
good.
of that game.
And then I heard that they shut it down.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay. So
Or-
Friday the 13th, and as far as a quick lesson in Hollywood, there are so many hands in that honeypot now that nobody knows who actually owns the rights to what. So Sean Cunningham owns the rights to Friday the 13th. He was the original director, writer, creator, co-wrote the movie, whatever. He says he owns it. Now, the guy that wrote part 3 that put Jason in a hockey mask says, no, I own Jason because I was the one that came up with the hockey mask, so I own that. And then you've got Paramount saying, well, we own the license for 20 some odd years, whatever, we own that. But then we kind of half-ass sold it to New Line Cinemas. So Bob Shea says he's got it. And then what's that? Harvey Weinstein even claims he's got a piece of it. And we know we definitely ain't giving it to Harvey.
Nope.
So there's a ton of people that are all claiming that. So IllFonic couldn't do anything about it. I mean, all they could do is just like, then they lost their 2-year license for the game, and they had to shut down the servers. And you could still play it on your Xbox, your PS5, your computer, but I don't think it's online capable anymore. And I don't think that, and I know they're not adding anything new to the game, but
yeah.
Is a weird piece of back history. I got hired to do a part in a movie that they were going to try and get going in Georgia a few years ago. And the only thing that I'd read about it was that they were going to feature his father in the movie, which I thought was brilliant because we don't know what happened to the daddy 4Es. Where was he when his son was drowning in a lake? What was he doing all these years where his supposed son is running around murdering all these campers?
Where was he all these years when his wife was a crazy...
But point being is they tried to launch this movie and get this franchise going again, which would have been killer because it's something we'd never seen before, and it's definitely better than sending them to space. But because of rights issues, and I love that movie too, don't get me wrong, that fucking movie is so stupid, it is awesome. But yeah, it'll never happen. We'll probably never see Jason again in another film anytime in the foreseeable future. It's a bummer because he's like that great iconic character, but and he's the hero of the movie. I don't care what anybody says. You don't go to see the camp counselors. Nobody cares. You go in there and watch him do his thing. Like, how is he going to mess up these kids this time that we haven't seen before? Oh, there you go. A spear gun up the ass. I haven't seen that one yet. I always thought the bed, the people having sex, the bed, he would fold the bed like a taco. I was like, okay, that's about as gnarly as it gets. I think Freddy versus Jason was probably going to be our last visage of Jason Voorhees, which is a bummer. I have Jason tattooed on my leg. He's murdering me on my own leg. I mean, that's how bad I wanted to do that, be in the movie, much less love that character. There's a lot of fan flicks out there, though, so check them out on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
So you had
I had a thing. I had a thing in my head. I had this bright idea. And remembering, we have not talked about video game cartoons. Captain N.
The Game Master.
Game Master.
NBC Saturday mornings.
We talked about, the Super Mario,
Super Show.
The Super Show.
Yeah.
But what we didn't talk about though is how dope that show was because it was Captain Lou Albano was Mario. I can't remember the comedian's name that played Luigi. He passed away this year. He was Happy Gilmore. He was the Jackass guy. I'm ashamed that I don't know his name, but what was badass about that is you got Monday through Thursday was Mario Brother cartoon.
Yep.
And then Friday you got Legend of Zelda. And that shit.
Excuse me,
princess. Yeah, he was like a total fucking stalker, pederast, man, because he just he was trying to slip Zelda a roofie in every episode. Like, you're trying way too hard, man. You're trying way too hard. Stop. It was just like almost creeper levels. I'll do it for a kiss. Oh, I bet you would.
I mean, there were...
again, you go back and you watch something from 20 years ago with adult eyes and you realize how wrong it was.
Or how bad it is.
Go back and watch any episode of Masters of the Universe and tell me that's not the most homoerotic cartoon ever created.
Yeah.
And looking back now, they did it on purpose. Like,
they have actually said it in the Toys That Made Us. I think it was we watched. They were talking about it being like this. This homoerotic, idea table where they all just got stoned and tried to think about.
Took acid.
Yeah.
Right.
To think
was that on the Toys That Made Us?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Either that or it's its own.
It may have been a separate one about Masters of the Universe. I can't remember.
But Super Mario Super Show, Legend of Zelda, that cartoon was badass. I don't care. All the weirdo shit aside, that show was great.
You had, Captain N, the Game Master, where you've got Kid Icarus and all
Game
of
Boy.
these other games.
Brain.
Game Boy,
Mother Brain
Mother
from
Brain.
what was it? Something. Oh shit! Bionic Commando, was that it? No.
Was it?
No, that was a different.
No, Mother Brain was.
It wasn't Metroid. Was it?
No.
No, I don't
Mother
think...
Brain Metroid? No, because anyway.
Yeah,
but
Metroid.
It was Metroid.
Yeah,
okay.
I was gonna say I thought it was Metroid.
They had King Hippo from Punch Out was in there.
But she had this weird ass
Southern
Audrey 2 kind
deep
of thing going.
voice.
Yeah.
With the sounding like a kid going through puberty, like towards the end of the sentences.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was really weird, actually. I think about these things and I'm like, how did I I absolutely loved this stuff as a kid.
I don't remember any other real video game cartoons other than those two. Those are the two that stick out in my brain.
Yeah, those are the ones that really, really...
I mean, there's been a slew of movies over the years.
There's the newer ones, like Castlevania.
Yep,
Castlevania on Netflix is like the gold standard.
Belmont.
Yeah. I'm mad that they didn't go with Simon, but that's cool. Whatever. Yeah. Well, I hoped eventually they were going to go through all the time periods of Castlevania and get to him, but...
Yeah.
But they've got Dragon Age has one as well.
Mega Man had a cartoon too for a while, didn't he?
Yes. Mega Man did have a cartoon.
He was also in Captain N.
He's also
in Captain N. There's like a B character, but then he gave him his own show years later.
There's like the 50 different Sonic cartoons.
Right. Yeah.
Never was a big Sonic cartoon fan. I like the games. The original games on Genesis were killer.
I liked them. I could just never keep up with them.
All right.
It's like what's what?
Visually.
Well, no, I mean like Sonic X, Sonic Underground.
Oh,
I will say Sonic show I watched.
Once they fixed the animated Sonic in the live action movie, it was pretty good. I thought honestly, Jim Carrey playing Dr. Robotnik was
that was
he came out of retirement for that movie, and I was kind of scratching my head, but did you remember seeing the original Sonic they had for the movie? Yeah. Like the weird
because he showed up in the Chippendale Rescue Ranger movie.
Right.
Yeah.
The botched Sonic film.
Yep.
I think they had to spend like this boatload of money to go back and reanimate Sonic and all throughout the whole movie.
Entire time.
Uncanny Valley Sonic.
Right.
It was weird. It was weird looking.
Why does he have teeth?
But yeah.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers movie was great.
That was great. You wouldn't have thought that it would have been great, but that was awesome. Did we do Saturday morning cartoons already?
No, we haven't, but we should do an episode
for that.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah,
you can't. I'd be remiss if we didn't mention Turbo Teen in that conversation.
Yeah, right.
You see, you're nodding your head like you don't remember Turbo Teen, the kid that could eat a hot pepper and he turned into a Corvette or some shit. Yeah, it's like the dumbest idea for a cartoon, but we watched it. But yeah, there's a lot of video games. Cartoons that you could claim, but like really it was more like X-Men or Ninja Turtles. Those were all like comic books primarily, but X-Men arcade game, it's right behind us. I wear that shit out still to this day. It's still a great game.
Well, I mean that's the thing too, is that we see a lot more of like the cartoons getting their own games, and so we've got Ninja Turtles, which Ninja Turtles 2 was the freaking fantastic one.
My whole thing with like the Super Mario Brothers Pratt animated flick that just came out is like I hope that Nintendo just doesn't go strictly animated with their films on their properties, because again we
Zelda
really need a Zelda live action flick.
Zelda live action, Metroid live action.
Metroid needs to be live action, yeah.
I mean, granted, you don't need Dig Dug the movie, but we definitely need Zelda as a film. And Metal Gear, if those are two properties somebody should do it. If you can't get the guy from the video game though, Jeremy Renner all the way.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I will root for Renner at any point in time.
I would pick Renner to be anything.
So...
Renner needs to be Batman at some point. That dude's just awesome in everything he does. God, could you imagine Jeremy Renner as Batman? How fucking great would that movie be?
Yeah.
You're friends with Gunn. Get on that, dude. Call your boy, Jeremy. Tell him you want to be a Batman.
Man, I love Renner. Love him.
That should be another podcast coming up. We'll do the woulda, coulda, shoulda films.
Oh, nice, yeah.
That's good.
Who should have been in the movie? Who? It would be almost like the old school Wizard casting call.
Well, what was it? The whole like David Bowie and Hook, or Robin Williams and Batman.
Right, as the Riddler. Didn't like the part because it was too small, and then they rewrote the part and gave it to Carrie.
And then made it huge.
And Carrie basically just ripped off Nicholson the whole time. It was lame. That movie bothers me for so many reasons.
Yeah.
I know what it was trying to do, and I liked Val Kilmer as Batman. It's just he was too small. You don't think of the little thin-framed guy as Batman. You want a Ben Affleck, like a big buff dude, like a big... Because, Val Kilmer ain't going to intimidate me in an alley in a Batman's, in his shiny Batman suit.
I just cannot see a blonde Bruce Wayne. That's the thing with me. It's like if you don't
He can bleach his tips.
It's too bad. It's really too bad that because of his age, we couldn't get Daniel Craig as Batman. He would have fucking murdered that shit. He could have pulled the Bruce Wayne, just the James Bond Bruce Wayne version of him, and then to get into that really dark side of Batman.
Yeah, he would have made an awesome Batman.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda episode. That'll be one of the next ones on the list. I guess one final thought before we wrap up the video games. What's the best movie tie-in video game ever made? Or TV show tie-in? Because there's been a lot of slew of crap of games. Every time it's like, The Rocketeer, the movie, you kind of got like...
Assassin's Creed.
Well, no. I think he means like
they took a movie property and turned it into a video game. So Assassin's Creed was an awesome game, but the movie was shit.
Yeah,
we're going back.
I thought you meant like connected to it.
No, the other way around.
Continuing a story or something.
What was a movie that came out that was like really huge, where the game was really good, but 99.5% of the time they're all crap. But I know which one. I know it was a really good game, Wolverine Origins. For the Xbox or PlayStation 3.
I hear a lot.
Mark Hamill playing Logan was weird, but he pulled it off. But the game was fucking awesome.
Oh gosh.
I mean, we could sit here for days on end, like Friday the 13th on the 8-bit NES was a toilet game, but it was a movie tie-in game. Captain America: The First Avenger, garbage game. Willow, garbage game. It's RoboCop, garbage. Well, no, I take that back. The new one that came out this year was awesome. I played the shit out of that. Had Peter Weller and Nancy Allen come back.
The Lost World game. The Jurassic Park one.
The Waterworld, the video game. Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
That game was the shit.
That was a classic.
That was from the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only two that come to mind. I mean, I'm sure people will write into us and tell us, no, you forgot this and you forgot that, and you're probably
Please do.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, here's a guilty pleasure game. Moonwalker, the Michael Jackson video game.
Oh, nice.
That game was the shit.
Yeah.
That game was awesome, man. You would use your interpretive dance to defeat zombies. I mean, come on, man.
Well, and that's also a good example of the Sega had the perfect port from the arcade, and the NES had the shit version.
Oh god, it was terrible. Did they actually do an NES Moonwalker?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Well, they might have. I know they did a Master System and they did Genesis. It wasn't an exact port. It wasn't an exact game from the arcade, because the game in the arcade was more of a top-down thing, and then the side scroller was the Genesis. But they were both good. I had the Genesis game. I had the arcade game for a while. And I think I traded it to a friend or something, probably for a bag of weed or something, but kind of wished I'd kept it now. But anyway, Moonwalker, great guilty pleasure game. You could hit your special
and also
power.
A tie-in.
And a tie-in, yeah. It's a movie tie-in, so there you go. It's a twofer.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, kids. This is Brother John and Alley Cat, Spoiled Bat, signing off video game movies. And yes, they still suck.
Dennis Hopper was awesome.
Dennis Hopper was awesome.